The Sponsorship Experts Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Sponsorship Experts Podcast. We're here again with Kun Junporn Keat Baiboon, or Porn, who is the Acting Marketing Assistant Database Manager Business Development at the Sponsorship Experts. And sadly, for the last time, as her internship with the Sponsorship Experts will end at the end of this month. Hi Porn, how are you? And before we let you go, what can we expect from the September 2022 podcast?
I'm very well, thank you, Kunjay. In this episode of the podcast, we take a closer look at current sponsorship opportunities and news, including our acquisition of Asia Sponsorship News, Super Sports 10-mile run Thailand, and Super Sports Bangkok Half Marathon. We also take a look at why a number of tech companies are relocating to Royal Phuket Marina.
The latest newsletter out now that you can find at paulpaul.co.th has a number of new and exciting commercial, sponsorship and partnership opportunities available for those who are into running, and a very interesting article on why a number of tech companies are relocating to Phuket. And then finally, some fantastic news about Paul Southeast Asia Company Limited acquisition of Asia Sponsorship News. So before we get into the news about the acquisition of Asia Sponsorship News, after a hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Supersports 10-mile run Thailand is back on the 21st of May 2023. What can you tell us about this hugely popular event, Kumporn?
After a hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Supersports 10-mile run Thailand is back on the 21st May 2023. Supersports 10-mile run Thailand takes place at Central World, Bangkok. It attracts thousands of participants and is known and loved for its relaxed and fun atmosphere, welcoming runners of varying abilities. With 3 distances to choose from, there is something for everyone, and runners can opt for the full 10 miles, a shorter 5-mile run, and the shortest distance of 3 miles. Runners will receive a race kit with a high-quality race shirt from Adidas. Participants run in the early morning in order to escape the heat and avoid traffic. All participants receive a medal, and winners in each category receive a trophy and a cash prize.
So, just like Forrest Gump, we'll keep on running as the Supersports Bangkok Half Marathon is back for a fun-filled race on the 17th of September 2023. What can you tell us about this event, Kumporn, that is coming back next year?
Supersports Bangkok Half Marathon is back for a fun-filled race on the 17th September 2023. Leading up to the race are a number of activities around Central World, and organizers expect to attract not only those racing but also the general public. Both experienced runners and those with less experience are encouraged to sign up, as the race has 2 distances. One half marathon, which start at 3:30 a.m., and a 10.5 kilometers mini marathon that starts an hour later. The races are typically sold out and attract both local runners and foreigners. A communal warm-up will take place before the start of the half marathon for those interested. Each runner will receive a race kit with a high-quality race shirt from Adidas. The routes go through the streets of Bangkok, starting and finishing at Central World. Special provisions will be made along the route to supply water and protect runners from traffic. Organized with the support of Supersports and Adidas, runners race for more than 50,000 baht cash prizes. In addition to the 2 races, participants and spectators can also browse an expo showcasing the newest products and services in the world of road racing and healthy living. Supersports will donate money from the event to a chosen charity. In the past, money has been donated to the Paralympic Committee of Thailand under royal patronage, which take care of physically challenged Thai athletes.
What commercial sponsorship and partnership opportunities are available for those interested in these 2 running events?
We have created a package of comprehensive commercial sponsorship and partnership programs, especially for the Supersports 10-mile 2023 run Thailand and for the Supersports Bangkok Half Marathon 2023, including one title sponsor with naming rights to the event, which has already been sold to Supersports, one presenting sponsor with naming rights to the event, which has already been sold to Adidas, three host sponsors, which have already been sold to Central World, Zen at Central World, and Centera Hotels and Resorts, up to six co-sponsors from non-competing categories, two of which have already been sold to Gatorade and Johnson, up to 10 official suppliers providing goods and services essential to the event, two of which have already been sold to Aquafina and Central Restaurants Group, including Auntie Anne's, Shabuton, Mr. Donut, Pepper Lunch, and Yoshinoya. Up to 10 official media partners providing advertising and guaranteed editorial essential to the event, two of which have already been sold to Fando and True Visions.
Now, as I mentioned in the intro, the fantastic news about Paul Southeast Asia Company Limited acquisition of Asia Sponsorship News, fondly known as ASN, the leading market intelligence service for the sponsorship industry in Asia. Great news all round. What can you tell us about this, Kamporn?
Absolutely, Kunjay. Paul Southeast Asia Company Limited, PPSEACL, is excited to announce its acquisition of Asia Sponsorship News, ASN, the leading market intelligence service for the sponsorship industry in Asia, which distributes independent news, analytics, and insight on a subscription basis with a bespoke consultancy and training service. ASN has been instrumental in the continued success of the sponsorship industry in Asia through its unrivaled dataset of over 250,000 commercial sponsorship and partnership marketing deals in Asia, which has allowed sponsorship professionals to trade faster and more efficiently in an environment of greater transparency. Founded in Singapore in 2007 by Ben Hayhoe-Flint, ASN operates on a subscription-based model where subscribers gain access to the latest news, analytics, and insights from the biggest players in the sponsorship industry. Over the years, ASN has worked with the leading names in sports, media, and entertainment across the buy-side, agency, and sell-side. A new Thai-based company, Asia Sponsorship News Company Limited, ASNCL, is being set up to operate ASN under the aegis of Paul, founder, managing director, and chairman of PPSEACL. ASNCL is a subsidiary of PPSEACL and will run completely independently. Hayhoe-Flint will stay on as an advisor, and James Hampshire, ASN's Business Development Director, will stay on and be promoted to Managing Director. We are extremely excited to start this new chapter under the ownership of PPSEACL. Paul has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to the sponsorship industry, and we could not have found a better path forward, said Ben Hayhoe-Flint, founder of ASN. This acquisition comes at a time when the sponsorship industry is resurging in Asia post-pandemic. We are confident of the continued success of ASN as an utterly independent provider of intelligence for those in the sports, media, and entertainment space in Asia, said James Hampshire, Managing Director of ASN-CL. ASN has been a monumental force in the sponsorship industry in Asia in the past 15 years, providing invaluable insights to all of us in this space. We are committed to continuing that important work and to remaining an important player in an ever-changing industry, said Paul, founder, managing director, and chairman of PPSEACL.
Once again, fantastic news about the acquisition of the Asia Sponsorship News. And I was lucky enough last week to talk to Ben Hayho Flint, the founder of ASN, about the Asia sponsorship news. And my first question was an easy one. What is Asia sponsorship news?
ASN, as we like to abbreviate it, is an intelligence service at its heart for rights owners who are selling the rights to sponsorship and branded content platforms across the region being Asia. And then conversely on the other side to the brands, the brand owners, the advertisers who are the people who invest in these platforms to enable them to take place or to convey a brand image or to reach a certain audience, et cetera, and also those intermediaries that operate in between the brands or the rights owners, the agencies, the media agencies, advertising agencies, sports rights agencies, those people who quote unquote broker the deals. But at its heart, it's intelligence. It's the platform reports on countless brand partnership activities across the region. And what we've been doing for 12 years is putting all of that activity into the most exhaustive database that exists of sponsorship branded content activity in Asia. That has now grown over the last 11 years into a database of over 260,000 deals, which sums up to something over $110 billion worth of transactions. And by that mean a transaction is a sponsorship by a brand of a property where they've committed either a cash investment or a cash in kind investment into that sports event, arts event, music event, a TV show, a piece of content that now appears on a streaming platform or in digital media somewhere, a celebrity endorsement, any sort of annualized property like a football league or a badminton league, an orchestra season, anything and everything that is not a traditional piece of advertising where a brand has just paid for an ad space in an advertising slot on a TV broadcast platform, or they paid for an A4 print page if these things even exist today in a newspaper or a magazine, or it can include podcasts, of course, and here we are on a podcast. So a branded podcast could be something that we capture. We even go as weird and wonderful as things like brand partnerships with hologram artists, and there's quite a few of those that exist in Japan and China where it's a virtual artist, a virtual celebrity who is a musician. We would capture that kind of activity as well. Computer games, the list goes on, but again, it's that non-traditional medium that we're trying to capture, and every year we capture, notwithstanding a pandemic, we have captured historically around about $10 billion worth of spend in the Asia region, and that's roughly 20 countries that we cover.
Why was ASN created?
I realized, having worked in Asia for about 8 years by then, and working in the advertising brand marketing sector, that there was a complete black hole of information when it came to what brands were doing in this kind of sponsorship and branded content space and how much they were spending. And so I set about, in a bit of a hokey, scrappy way, creating a calendar of events with the brands that were associated with those events alongside it in an Excel spreadsheet. And from there, it kind of grew into what ASN looks like today, a platform that has an analytics product in there, which is the rendering of that database that I mentioned of 260,000 deals. But again, going back to the genesis of the idea, it was like, here I was operating as an agency, someone who was representing brands, a big stable of brands, and how they should be investing their money. And I couldn't advise them properly because I didn't know how much they should be spending. I didn't know where the competition was existing at any given moment, and therefore where to find the gaps. I didn't know necessarily what were all the opportunities that were out there. A brand may come to me with a brief and have said, right, we need to reach this audience with this kind of brand message. And we need you to go and find some platforms that fit. And I used to have to cast around, do some Googling and try and come up with a list. But, so this kind of calendar of events from which it started was one resource that I could use to go, okay, this is where I can find a list of opportunities. And if my kind of reasoning had led me to say, this brand needs to be spending money in basketball, I could filter it by basketball and come up with a series of properties which that brand my client could potentially sponsor. And then it was like, well, okay, that's great that I can recommend these platforms, but if they've got a competitor in that space, that's a bit of a stupid recommendation. So I started to track the brands as the next dimension. And then after that, I was working with someone who had a previous similar but parallel database for other parts of the world, and realized that there were other dimensions to put on there, which were like the spend. How much was that brand in question spending against that particular event or platform, celebrity, piece of content, whatever. And from there, that's where it started. So that, it was all about being able to advise more efficiently. And then we set about, that was an offline, as I said, scrappy Excel spreadsheet. And we said, well, okay, how can we turn this into a business? How can we monetize this? And that's when we, again, working with a former partner, we put this into an online subscription-based platform where subscribers could access this data to be able to do the job themselves. So whether it's a brand on the brand side needing to invest on their own under their own steam without any support, they could subscribe to that and therefore create a brand strategy more efficiently, take that up to management to secure the budget and the investment to say, I'm going in this direction with our marketing budget. I've got all the traditional ad spend going on in other paid media areas, but this one is something that I think is a targeted partnership to that particular audience that we're trying to reach. And keeping it on brand, et cetera, et cetera. So the brand could develop that strategy. The agency, the intermediary, could do it on their behalf as one resource of maybe many other resources that they would use to create this investment strategy. Or it was the rights holder who was looking at it from the other perspective, looking to try and sell more effectively to a brand on the other side. Let's say that rights holder was representing a football property. They might want to know which brands are actively spending money in football in my country at a price tag that I'm looking to sell at. So I'm looking to sell a package of $250,000. Okay, which brands are active in my country spending money at this kind of level? And so, you could call up that database and create a hit list of brands and their brand owners, the senior management of who were involved at those brands, to then go and use that as a target list. So it's not just a yellow pages of names that I could hit the phones with as a sales guy, but it would be a smarter lead generation exercise where I could go, well, these are not just names, but these are qualified names that I pre-qualified as spending money in with something that I'm looking to spend. And that would turn the sale pitch from, hi, I'm Ben. Have I got a great platform for you to spend money on? Into, hi, I'm Ben. I've done some research into your brand. I can see that you're active in this space. You clearly are interested in reaching the audience that I represent. I've got a partnership opportunity for you. What do you think about this? And it just turns that conversation from one which is basically becoming being a secondhand car salesman into someone who is more consultative in the way that they're selling. And that consultative selling is, clearly more of a holy grail for anyone who's on the sell side. Equally for the brand's manager, marketing manager, whatever their title is, they look as though they've done the due diligence to be spending that brand's money for the head of marketing, for the CEO, whoever's signing off on that budget. So that's why we call it intelligence. It's intelligence that provides all those sides of the industry with the facts that they could use to go forward to making an investment or making a sale.
Fantastic answer. And you might have already answered my next question within that. What does ASN offer?
Okay, what we're offering is impartial facts about what is happening in this sponsorship brand partnership space in Asia, such that either the brand on the buying side can go forward and make that investment decision with confidence, or yes, an agency who's advising them can advise them with authority to say this is absolutely the right direction for you to go in, or the rights holder can ideally sell more effectively with a greater hit rate, as opposed to that it's that rifle shot effect versus the shotgun effect. It's being more targeted in the sales approach. Beyond the analytics that is offered on the platform, ASN can take this unique data set and this unique intelligence set into a managed service, and can advise brands and rights owners alike with whatever they need to know about the sponsorship branded content space in Asia. So we have in the past consulted to both sides of the fence, quite often, in fact, if not always, using that database as the backbone of what we're doing, because that's the unique selling proposition of ASN, and it's its unique asset, this database of billions of dollars worth of spend. And we've been able to take that and say to the brands, you should be spending in this space because this is a greenfield opportunity. And you should be spending about this kind of money because we've been able to use this huge, big data set to be able to average what other brands have been spending at this kind of level in this kind of sport or non-sport. Equally, for the sell side, we've done lead generation exercises on their behalf to say, here's a pre-qualified list of brands that you should be going after because of X, Y, Z reason, and all the reasons I've mentioned before. We've also done training. So if the consultancy is obviously much more one-to-one, we've done training which is one-to-many, where we've given usually brands, but sometimes the rights owners as well, the knowledge that we've built up over, collectively as a team, decades of experience of managing sponsorship activity in the region. We're giving it back in a training environment, so that again, brands know how to devise a sponsorship strategy correctly, and how to allocate the correct amount of budget, and then how to activate that particular sponsorship. In other words, how to amplify it beyond just sticking a logo on a sports jersey or inserting it into a TV broadcast or whatever. For the sell side, it's about how to sell more effectively, how to get a higher ticket price for every time you sell, how to get a better hit rate on those sales, making it more efficient so that you can go on and make more sales. There's many other training modules that we've devised in between those kind of core parts of it: how to buy, how to sell more effectively.
Now that Paul Southeast Asia Company Limited has acquired ASN, what's the future?
Well, I think you'll have to ask Paul that. I've been running it for a dozen years, and before that in partnership as a more minority shareholder. And I think that the time has come for me to hand over the reins to someone else to revitalize it. I've been busy with other ventures, so I'm delighted that Paul has taken it on with James at the helm, who's obviously been with us since the start as one of the founders. I'm going to be interested to see which direction the business goes in. I'm staying on as an advisor, obviously, and will be advising, but I won't be directing the business anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see the directions that Paul and team take it in. I'm delighted that it's staying in Asia with an Asian-based business that's incredibly well respected and with long, deep roots over many years in the region as well. And when we were looking around for someone to take over the reins, Paul had been a partner of ours for many years already and had been supportive of ASN and always talked highly of it. But equally, we knew that intelligence and efficiency and all those things that ASN represents was in Paul's DNA. He liked always loved the proposition of ASN and what it could do. So it felt like a natural fit for us to hand over the reins to Paul. But who knows what the future will see? I mean, the industry is going through, constant change. with the continued fragmentation of audiences across digital platforms. That said, there is the continued strength in traditional advertising. That's not going away. But we've had 2 years of pandemic, which threw an enormous wrench into the works for the whole of the media industry and disrupted so many things. So it's going to be interesting to see how this world evolves in this kind of post-pandemic stage, and which platforms have survived, which new platforms are emerging, and how the business pivots to satisfy the needs of the modern brand advertiser and the modern rights owner.
Seeking sponsors, seeking an opportunity to sponsor, looking to maximize an already sponsored opportunity. Visit paulpaul.co.th, the sponsorship experts.
Very exciting times ahead for the sponsorship experts, and also exciting times ahead for Phuket, as a large number of tech firms are looking for a combination of nature and urban culture, and Phuket seems to be the place that they are choosing. What can you tell us about this trend, Kunporn?
Phuket is emerging as a haven for tech firms looking for a combination of nature and urban culture, especially Royal Phuket Marina on the island's east coast has been attracting high-profile companies as of late. Famous for its state-of-the-art marina, Royal Phuket Marina is a world-class lifestyle destination combining luxury waterfront living and attractive commercial real estate. The only marina on Phuket to have obtained the prestigious 5 gold anchor distinction, it is also a pioneer in sustainability, deploying the latest in solar technology to power its operations. Apart from the marina, it features restaurants, bars, and an exhibition and conference hall boasting 2,000 square feet of indoor exhibition and conference space and 1,000 square feet of outdoor venue space, making it a perfect venue for MICE events. Recently, a number of tech firms have been drawn to the marina for its range of facilities. Earlier this year, Booking.com announced they were moving offices there, and the new Thai-based owners of Asia Sponsorship News (ASN) will also be operating ASN from Royal Phuket Marina. Phuket offers the perfect combination of premier lifestyle destination with stunning nature and great infrastructure. With dozens of flights connecting the island to nearby metropolises, including Bangkok and Singapore daily, it is an attractive home for companies operating in the region. We are pleased to see so many distinguished companies choosing Royal Phuket Marina as their home base. We strive to be an active player in promoting the best Phuket has to offer, whether it be world-class yachting, MICE, or business opportunities, said Gulu Lalvani, chairman of Royal Phuket Marina.
Thanks, Kunporn. That's very interesting. Living in Phuket, I can see that there are huge opportunities for tech firms to come and set up here, and it would also help with the economic growth of the island and making it less reliant on the tourism industry. Good news all round. So, Kunporn, if anyone is interested in any of the commercial sponsorship and partnership opportunities for the Supersports 10-mile run Thailand, or the Supersports Bangkok half marathon, or learning more about the Asia Sponsorship News, what should they do?
As usual, we can be contacted through our website paulpaul.co.th, by email info@paulpaul.co.th, or keeping up with the audio vibe, pick up the telephone and dial +66 2622 0605 or 0606 or 0607.
Thanks so much, Kunporn, and I wish you every success for the future.
Thank you, Kunjay. It's been fun recording the podcast with you throughout my internship with the sponsorship experts. And Kun Paul, or one of my colleagues, look forward to speaking with you again next month.